What's it like flying on a defunct airline? What happens to the planes and routes served? Today is an unexpected story of SWOOP Airlines, a budget carrier that lasted a good 5 years before calling it quits. We'll check that out and see what's new in the world of WestJet.
Good afternoon and welcome back to another video. I can't believe it's been 4 months since we were last in Australia. It was a fantastic trip and we had the opportunity to fly with Virgin Australia on their 737 MAX on one of the longest flights you can fly with that plane. I'm now in the other corner of the British Empire in Abbotsford, British Columbia. And today we're going to look at WestJet's 737 MAX on a flight from Abbotsford up to Edmonton, Alberta. I'll also go over the pricing scheme for WestJet, as they made some changes to their ticketing about a month ago. So I'll show you what you can expect should you wish to do some flying with them. The flight is set to depart at 1:40, so come along as we go from A to B.
So, as you can tell from the introduction, I had other goals and ambitions in mind this day. I was looking forward to flying on one of WestJet's MAX aircraft, but that cancelled inbound flight from Edmonton would change things up for me. We were here in this airport last year, and it's your standard small town Canadian airport. The simplicity of it is actually a nice change from the bustle of Vancouver and other larger airports. I didn't have any bags to check in. All Canadian airlines have a pesky habit of charging for checked bags, and I avoid this as much as possible. So these airports are especially advantageous for those that can walk directly to the gate. But remember, we're in Canada, so make sure to dump that dangerous water out first. SWOOP Airlines was wholly owned by WestJet and operated from 2018 until October 2023. Abbotsford, being the secondary airport to the Vancouver area, was the airline's base in BC. I never had the opportunity to fly with them. Budget airlines in Canada have a relatively short life expectancy and usually cease operations with very short notice. The fact that Flair Airlines has lasted as long as it has boggles the mind. 9 months later, after the airline was reabsorbed by WestJet, there is no evidence that the airline existed here. Well, except for the SWOOP plane outside. Today we're departing from Gate 4. And if there's one thing I love about these smaller airports is being able to walk outside to the plane. Bonus points if you can use the rear stairs. There's always talk in the news about how to speed up boarding times, and in simple mathematical terms, 2 doors is better than 1. And as I make my way to the plane, I invite new viewers to subscribe for continued aviation and travel-related content. You can browse the channel for planes, trains, and other travel ideas from around the world. Today we'll be in seat 29A, in the 4th last row of the plane. WestJet has 46 737-800 aircraft, with 10 of them being the former SWOOP planes such as this. Besides these planes having a notably pink livery, they are characterized by having a single cabin, where WestJet's regular 737 aircraft are fitted with a 3-row premium cabin at the front. Regardless of being a former SWOOP plane or not, the aircraft has 3 lavatories on board. Our quick flight would take us northeast, over the mountains towards Edmonton, and we'll lose an hour while we're at it. The cabin is in the standard 3-3 seating layout. One quirky difference between the former SWOOP planes and regular WestJet aircraft is the use of teal antimacassars in the former, where the latter has none. Of course, the antimacassar and the trim would be pink, providing a brighter appearance to the SWOOP cabin, and the logo would have been different. Another difference is that the first row and rows 1 through 7 on the right side is marketed as extended comfort, providing extra legroom. Seatback has a literature pocket on top, which contains a menu, safety card, and a notice that explains that this aircraft's current cabin days are numbered, as these former SWOOP aircraft will be refurbished to match the regular fleet. Anyway, below the literature pocket, there's a table and net pocket. The power outlet is tucked under the table and has a USB port and a universal socket. Keep in mind, these planes were used as a budget airline, so seat pitch is 29 inches, one less compared to the regular 2-cabin configured planes. The seats are the standard seats which you'll find throughout the 737 fleet, though it's a wise choice that these cabins will soon be refurbished. But the headrest is fully adjustable, which is something you don't always get on a budget airline seat. And above you have access to the air control and reading light. Overall, it's not a bad cabin and seat, especially when used as a low-cost carrier. 29 inches of seat pitch, an adjustable headrest, and a power outlet at every seat is not always on every budget carrier. So I think they were on the right track in the budget carrier space, though I can see why they will upgrade these aircraft's interiors. WestJet does provide Wi-Fi on their mainline fleet, but $22 for less than a 90-minute flight is a bit of a stretch. There is a chat option you see there, which provides messaging capabilities to a few platforms. No line for this guy. But as I edit this video, WestJet has recently announced that they are working towards providing free internet, so keep your eyes out should you be flying with them in the future. Porter Airlines welcomes them to the club. Looks like WestJet updated their menu from when we flew them last year. For a short flight like this, we're about in the air for 70 minutes, only the bar menu was offered, and a Coke and a couple cookies did the trick. WestJet streams IFE to devices on board their 737 aircraft. I like the interface, it's intuitive, quick, and responsive. They offer a good selection of movies and TV series, and offer content from a few streaming services such as HBO Max and Crave. I particularly enjoyed their interactive moving map, which is used on this system. And here's a look at the rear lavatory, which was nice and clean and nothing out of the ordinary. Overall, I enjoy flying with WestJet and their onboard experience when I do. Their staff are friendly, do a great job, and the flights are clean, relaxing, and have a decent onboard menu. I would like to fly their North American premium class and explore their transoceanic flights one day. Their booking options, on the other hand, is where improvements can be found. They have 3 booking classes: Ultrabasic, Econo, or Econo Flex. I purchased this ticket in the now deprecated Basic category, which was the most restrictive booking class at the time. Add-ons such as seats, check-in bags, are all for a fee. The key for this category was that carry-on was still allowed. For tickets booked after June 4th, 2024, the new category is Ultra Basic, with the key difference being that carry-on, besides a personal item, is not allowed. They decided to alter the cheapest class in an effort to speed up boarding times and optimize cabin space, or so they said. To be honest, I don't buy it. Flying without carry-on is not practical for Canada and North America, where distances are far and trips span days or weeks. Even budget carriers we flew on have a 7 or 10 kilo carry-on limit in their cheapest booking class. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but if you want to speed up boarding, give each passenger a 10 kilo check-in baggage allowance, or open both doors like they did today. Also, I believe this is a scheme so the airline can advertise cheap but unrealistic fares for most travelers in newspapers, online, and in other media. Moreover, when I look at this flight with the new pricing scheme, I was looking at $130, more than double the Ultrabasic price for the next step up to the econo booking class, which is simply too big of a jump. The other two national airlines offer more intermediate steps, and if WestJet is going to go this route with Ultrabasic, I think they should reconsider their booking classes and change the scheme. It feels, from their business perspective, that they don't know whether they want to be a budget airline or a full-service airline, especially after the SWOOP airline flop. And they tend to pull strings in both directions, as we see from the booking classes. We'll see how the Ultrabasic category fares for the company and see if changes are made over the coming months and years, but just be aware should you be doing some flying with them. The price of this ticket came up to $114, and the only add-on I bought was the window seat for $15. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts on WestJet and their new pricing scheme, and I'll catch you in the next video.